Welcome to Papa's Workshop. Well, I've got a computer that's about 4 years old and the battery finally died. Over the past several months, it's been telling me that it no longer can sustain the charge and it needed to be replaced. Well, since I use the cord all the time in my computer when I'm doing the carving with the different CNC machines, I said not a big deal. I'll just let it go with that. Well, it finally died and said no more. I had to replace the battery. So today, I'm going to do a real quick video to show you just how easy that it is. It may look a little intimidating, but it's not that bad. So let's get started. I decided to go ahead and contact Dell Computers and order the battery directly from them. Granted, there probably would be a less expensive alternative, but I did not want to take a chance on getting the wrong battery. So when I contacted Dell, all I had to do was give them the service tag number on the back of the computer. They were able to look it up, identify the specific battery, and send it out to me. It only took about 4 days to be able to get to me. That's not bad, and I could live with that. It was a little inconvenient, but that's all right. I couldn't do the carving that I wanted to, so I had to postpone that, and I've actually moved to a different project. Now, I want to replace the battery today, and there's only just a couple little tricks that you need to do to be able to make this a fairly easy task. It's time to replace the battery in this computer because it is totally gone. I put a piece of shelf liner down just to help protect the face of the computer. On this computer, you literally have to take out all of these screws and this whole entire cover comes off. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'm going to take all of these screws out. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this offline. I'll be back in just a moment when this is ready to be taken apart. I do want to point out that there are a couple of different size screws. You have one that's very small, and there's two like this. The rest of them are these longer screws. So you want to make sure that you know exactly where these short screws go. Now once you get all the screws out from the back side, you go ahead and pull out this right here. We'll set it aside, and then you'll find 3 additional screws. And for this, you need a very small screwdriver. Now these screws are tiny. You need to be very careful not to lose these. Now I slip a little credit card underneath here and release this, and now this cover is beginning to come off. So that takes care of this side. And I'm going to do the same thing across the front. There we go. I'm going to try to get this in the camera for you. As you get more and more of these little clips released, the actual easier that it gets. So this whole half now is done. I'm going to flip it over and work on the other half. And I want to get this one loose. There it goes. We're almost there. I'm going to turn it up this way. So I'm going to set this back down now. And we now have the cover off of it. So I'll set that aside for the moment. Now the new battery will go in right here, just like this. The connector is right here. The connector is actually underneath this other one. And of course, we have more screws. This plate has to come off, and there's 2 screws holding that. And then this plate just lifts right out of the way. Now, there's a screw right here that holds in the battery. And I think that is it. We can lift this out. And that plugs in right there. Now this comes out very gentle and it slips out. And we'll take the new one and we'll slide it right in. Just like that. And we'll put this battery back in. There it is in place. And we need to plug this in right here. Now we'll put this plate back on. That's one. It's not tight yet. That one's in. Our third one goes over here. Now I'm going to tighten all of them. So we know that this is plugged in. We know that this is plugged in. All right. So that completes this. So now it's time to be able to go ahead and put the cover back on. I'll turn this right around here. Yep. There we go. Now we put this cover on. We'll take these little tiny screws and put those back in place. So that's one. There's two. And there we go. We got those 3 back. Now this can slide back in. And there, that matches with this screw right there. And there's another screw that holds that drive in right there. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting these screws back in now. And remember, this screw and this screw were those tiny little screws. So I'm going to put that one in right there. So that holds the drive. That one will go right into this spot. Then we'll continue putting these screws back in. Now I have all the screws back in. I want to go through and just double check now to make sure that they are all tight. It looks a little intimidating to do this, but it's really not that difficult to be able to do. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on charge. Well, there you have it. Changing the battery is not that difficult. And I'm glad to have the computer back in the shop. I can't wait to have it all charged and ready to go so I can get back carving with the CNC machines. If you liked the video today, please go ahead and hit that little subscribe button down below and the little bell notification next to it. That way you won't miss out on any of the videos that I am producing. And I've got a lot of projects coming up real soon. So please go ahead and subscribe today while you're thinking about it. And until next time, I will see all of you on whatever project that I'm working on next.